Good evening and welcome back to Science Fiction Retirement Library. I'm now on box 2, which is 2 lots from Evergreenpages. I recently did box 1, which was 15 science fiction books from the 80s, 90s. There's a couple, I think it was one 70s, one 2000s. This should have one more 15 book box, and then the rest is an Andre Norton haul, one of the grand dames of science fiction. So I'm going to open this up and I'm going to probably tackle the 15 books, unless they're all together. If they're all together, I'm just going to go for it, and I'll maybe split the video into 2. So kind of not a giant book haul, but somewhere in the middle. Okay, so I'll just get my scissors. And if you haven't seen the video before, please go and have a look at that one. I will be doing more. I've just ordered another haul of 30, I think, from Zardos Books, and I've got various singles coming in the post, and at some point I'll do another giant book haul. But if you've been following me recently, it's going to be very hard to beat the collection only haul that I got from Richard. But we'll go from there. Okay, it looks like it's all together in one. So yes, I can see a lot of Andre Norton on the top, so it looks like they're all together. I don't know if I can show you this without banging things. So I've taken 2 pieces of paper out, and then there's just a box of books. So I did want to kind of do a bit of research on Andre Norton before I did the video. But in essence, all I know, I've never read her, but I know she's a very well-respected editor and writer. So yeah, I just saw a collection from Evergreenpages. It was a really good deal. One of those ones where you watch it and then they give you a discount offer. And I remember there being some door in there, and I've just seen some door on the top. And I just thought, I think she was quite prolific. So let's get a batch of 30 odd books for Andre Norton, and then I've kind of filled a nice little chunk of my retirement library in one go. And obviously I'll upgrade as I go along and investigate more. And it's not one of those things that if I read one and didn't like it, I would never read another one. Like, I've got 30 books, right? So there has to be something in there that probably over the time she wrote that would appeal to me, right? Okay, so I'm presuming then the Andre Norton is on top, and then the other 15 randoms that I don't know if it's 80s and 90s this time, but it could be. But I think there's probably then, 45, 46 books here, with the majority being Andre Norton. So let's go for it. Okay, so first book. There's going to be fantasy in here as well, because Andre Norton's sci-fi and fantasy, I'm sure. So first book has got a little sticker on it from LSP Books Limited. It's Ace. I had a lot of Ace recently. Good condition. Stargate. That's great. Nice painted cover. Very orange. Quite simple. Pre-barcode. And then you've got that 090 there, which I'm presuming is 90p. I don't know if this has come across the pond, but it is Ace. And that is originally 1958. But again, with these Aces, it doesn't easily give you a date for the reprint, and I can't believe that's 1958. Let me just check. I'll edit it there. Let me just check. Okay, so I just checked, and it's 1974. Now, with these Aces, unless I'm missing something, and please tell me, because I can't find it easily. Where does it say the reprint 1974? It's very strange. But it looks like... Oh no, that's just the chapters. So when King Ka Asrud of mixed Gorthian and Star-Lord blood followed the Star-Lords through the Shimmering Gate, that led to alternate universes. He found himself on a Gorth entirely different from the world he had known. Nice. So multiverse kind of writing back in the 70s, but originally 50s. That's kind of an interesting thing for me. So yeah, good start. A format Ace, 1974. Okay, so the first door Maybe it was meant to be Yellow Spine, but it's not anymore. Andre Norton, Garin the Eternal, An Epic Adventure of Time and the Stars. So this reminds me a bit of Moorcock in terms of the science fantasy, right? So you've got a knight, you've got dragon, but then it mentions the stars. So again, not usually my cup of tea. In our world, he was Garin, jet pilot and explorer in the lost world of Tav. He was Garin who would supply the link with their most ancient past. In a world far distant in space and time, he was Garin Agulak. Wow. Okay. It says never before in paperback. Pretty good condition and nice illustrations. Door books, 1972. Fantasy Publishing, part 1 and 2. So nice. A little bit discoloured there, but good. Okay, here's a door, Yellow Spine, and it's pretty good condition. And I don't have many of these, and I do like these, and people do like these. So this is Door Books number 1. No way. So that's Door Books number 45. I don't know if you can see that at the top. I didn't really see that before. This is Door Books number 1. You see it at the top? Now, I don't know if that's kind of each year, each series. I do need to look at that. And if you do know, if you're a door collector, I think Jules Burt would know. That's number 1. Spell of the Witch World, the long-awaited new book of extragalactic super science. So again, it's very similar to the 2 I've had. It's like a warrior riding a beast of some kind or fighting a beast of some kind, but it's very medieval. So it's like medieval sword and sorcery amongst the stars, which is, I presume, like a subgenre. Somewheres in the infinite spaces beyond the galaxy, we know lies a planet. We know lies a planet with a strange affinity to the Earth. Okay. This looks unread. Much better than the other one. 1972. Dragon Scale Silver. 3rd printing. So it's 3rd printing, but it's Door SF Books number 1. So I'm definitely going to look up that series, especially for my tracker. Might need to add another add data element to my tracker. Okay, these look a bit newer, and this kind of fits in with the box 1 that I had from EvergreenPages, or feels like it when I look at it. So Tor, yeah, so I got some Tor, some Bane, and some Ace. So Andre Norton, she was an enigma, self-exiled to a world of mysteries, Forerunner, the 2nd venture, first time in paperback. So very fantastical, looks 80s, maybe 90s, probably 90s. I should get better at this, but that's damp or discoloured. So no, 1986. Originally 1985, the 2nd venture. So I presume there's a series. Simza, the beggar whose mind held the ancient legacy of the Forerunners, had escaped her claw and fang life in the burrows. What I find amazing, I've got this is the 4th book, 200 plus pages each, right? Maybe 100, 200, 300 pages each. Like the imagination blows my mind. Like to sit in a room somewhere and come up with these ideas blows my mind. I just really want to get the time to read them. Again, Andre Norton, Zarsorth's Bane, and this is Ace again by the looks of it. And an Ace illustrated novel of fantasy adventure. I think I've got an Ace illustrated. I've got some kind of really interesting things now, like Build Your Own Adventure, illustrated, those movie books. It was like a tie-in with the movie, or it was movie stills, but with dialogue over the top. Fantastic. First publication anywhere. So is this a first edition? Nah. 1978. This Ace printing, 1981. First publication anywhere. Not sure. Maybe because of the illustrated part. So let's have a look at the illustrated part. Okay. Pretty good. Some kind of Komodo dragon or something like that. So that's good. That's appealing. Something a bit different. Again, very good condition. Looks unread text block wise. Andre Norton bids you enter the witch world. So yeah, I want to try it. How can I get paid to read old science fiction and fantasy? Another ace. These are all quite, you see the typeface on the Andre, so these are kind of similar era. And actually, you look at the swish here, swish, it's also similar kind of timeline. So Eye of the Monster, Rhys Napier had never trusted the reptilian Ishkurians. So 185 in the UK. So again, good condition, very good condition. They are slightly discoloured on the cardboard inside. So 1984. So it does look like, again, 80s and 90s, mainly 80s, well, 70s and 80s currently. But I should look out for 80s and 90s, like box one. Dark Companion, vintage Norton, exciting and absorbing, sustained suspense. So this is the first Bane. And I'm not a fan of these new editions, I have to say. I'm not a fan of Bane's design. I have no idea about the publishing house itself. And I know it's modern. That's not a bad cover, but they're just not as... The objects aren't as nice as the other older, more classic brands, let's say. So this is 2005, so that explains it. Dark Piper. I have heard it stated that a Zexro tape will last forever. Lost on a shattered planet, trapped in an alternate reality. Yeah, so I don't know if it's got some science in it, if it's got some space stuff, if it's got some interesting aliens, some interesting concepts. Yes. If it's just fantasy, exact adventuresome fantasy, but on a different planet, I'm less intrigued. But that's a chunky compared to the other. So 600 pages. So Andre Norton, I've got a lot. Okay, this is more like it, I'd say. So what's the publishing house there with the Knight on it? Is it just Knight Publishing? Knight of Masks with, do you know what that character reminds me of? When I was a kid, I had Fungus the Bogeyman books. And that image really reminds me of what's in my head of Fungus the Bogeyman. That was like the precursor to when I then would watch Young Ones and Bottom and stuff. Fungus the Bogeyman, brilliant. And the other one I remember is What a Mess, because we had an Afghan hound. What a Mess was the closest kind of animal. Compelling science fiction by a writer with a considerable reputation. Nick and Vandy are stranded on the eerie planet of Diz, without food and with only one weapon to defend themselves against monstrous creatures and unknown dangers. So the publisher is Black Knight. So I don't know if I've got any Black Knights, or if so, I've got very few. And this is older, and this is more appealing. Not just because it's older, but... Yes, on 1970, this edition, 1970. So that's the oldest book so far. And just the look, the feel, even, I don't know, the quaintness of the concept, and the Fungus the Bogeyman reminder makes that the most appealing one so far, apart from maybe one of the doors in good condition. But yeah, so far so good. And then the other end of the scale, which is a Tor. So the Tor and the Bane, I'm not as interested in it, maybe because they're shinier. And Andre Norton and Lynn McConkie, Beastmaster's Quest. This is one of the better sci-fi series going. Neat, swift, and strongly detailed. An exciting new Beastmaster adventure. So I don't know the Beastmaster adventures. I feel like it's something like my nephew would read, or, you know, but let's see. So again, looks unread, very small typeface. My eyes are going to struggle with that. Yeah, again, just the design ideas. Just put the words on the page. We don't need all of these bold type and things like that. I think, you know, books just got too. They're just trying to be too clever, really. So 2006 by the estate of Andre Norton. So Laris is gifted with Beastmaster ability. So maybe something like Pokemon or whatever, or you see there behind, I didn't see that, but it's a cat. So a little bit like Lyra, his Dark Materials, is that like the daemon. Again, I'm really happy that I'm building an Andre Norton collection. I'm not sure that's top of the list for me to read. Oh, interesting. So that was an exciting new Beastmaster adventure, and this is a science fiction adventure, Del Rey, which we all like, the Beastmaster. So is that like the original book that kicked off the rest? So Del Rey, he found an Eden in the ancient ruins and a hidden menace as well. So this is slightly more appealing. Oh, right. So it was 1959, the original. And again, it doesn't. Oh, yeah. Here we go. First Valentine, 1984. But again, that's just slightly more appealing. Even if it's the same story, just as an object, that's nicer than the other one. More muted cover. Also a cat. Don't know if Mabel and Penelope will come in, but there we go. I just saw one which isn't Andre Norton, so I might be having to dip into the randoms as well, which is quite exciting. You know, that's the stuff I love. Okay, so this is Magnet, which I don't have many of. Andre Norton, Plague Ship. Now this is what I'd pick up if I had what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is like the 12th book of Andre Norton. If I saw them all in a row in a secondhand bookshop, this is probably the one I'd pick up. And it's not in as good condition either. So Dane heard the shrill of a riding beam, so tearing he had to move his earphones. They must be almost on top of the control tower to get it like that. So it says 40 inside. Magnet book. This feels a little sturdier. Magnet edition, 1979. Originally published 1971 by Victor Gollancz. So the second thrilling space adventure about Dane Thorson and the Solar Queen. So yeah, something to look up. That's a more appealing series than the others. Nice. Okay, this one's saying 80, I presume P. Another ace, Andre Norton, Star Hunter and Voodoo Planet. So we've had a lot of Star Lords, now Star Hunter. I can't get Guardians of the Galaxy out of my head, unfortunately. Pretty basic cover, but probably does what it says on the tin. So again, Star Hunter, 1959. Oh, it's like a double. It's like an ace double, but it's not an ace double. It's two kind of novelettes in one. So Star Hunter and Voodoo Planet are two separate stories. Originally 61 and 1959, but I presume this is 70s. But like the other Ace book, it doesn't actually tell me, so I'll have to look it up. But that's pretty attractive. Apart from that sticker, which I might try to get off. There's two of those now. They're very small. I think I could probably get away with those with a hairdryer and a bit of patience. So yeah, another Andre Norton. I'm still on the Andre Norton, but I can see the other books. So again, so who's this LS Books Limited? LSP Books Limited. I need to look them up. Maybe it was a book trader from back in the day. Andre Norton, Uncharted Stars. So the typeface here, and it's Ace again. I've got a nice collection of these Aces of around the same time. So mid-70s, I'd say. So copyright 69, but this isn't. It just won't tell me. Unread again. You see some of the pages here you can't really see, but it's really crisp. It's just old pages, but you know, kind of perfect condition pages. The book continues the search begun in the Zero Stone. Okay, so I'm definitely going to have to start building series and runs. I do a lot of that with my comic collecting, but now I have to do that with some of these Andre Norton series as well. Okay, slightly newer one of that same ilk, the 80s livery. First paperback, Andre Norton, Tray of Swords, The Fate of Witchworld Hangs in the Balance. Unfortunately, this looks like it's got 2 stickers on it, which is very disappointing. But again, I don't really check the pictures that much because I like the excitement of not really knowing what I'm getting. I kind of do like this midway mystery box thing where I look at a picture, I think, oh, could I get that for, you know, a quid each or less than a quid? And then I deliberately don't look at the picture. Like I scan it, and then when I open the box, it's a bit of fun. So this is saying, so again, this is saying 1977 Andre Norton, but it's not actually on 1977. It's newer than that for sure. So I just don't know why they don't do this edition's publication date. But so I will definitely try to get those stickers off that as well. I'm not sure if I filmed that. It's kind of nice Arthurian wraparound cover. In this long-awaited continuation of Andre Norton's famous Witch World fantasy saga, so I also need to have a look. There's a couple, at least one in there, which was Witch World. Oh, it gets even better. So this Avon Nova, I did get some Avon Nova in the last haul from Evergreen Pages. And I don't know, I'd never pick up something called Space Cops Kill Station. And I don't know, it just feels, again, it feels like young adult or something like that. I could be completely wrong. Diane Duane and Peter Morwood. Okay, so it's not even Andre Norton. So I have hit the non-Andre Norton block, which I'll keep separately. But I'm going to whack through it. Life is cheap at the farthest reaches of the space frontier, where the scum of the universe rule, unhampered by the forces of law and order. Do you know what? Actually, I need to give these kind of things a chance, because I wouldn't think twice about reading this in sequential art in comic book form. But for some reason, for novels, it doesn't attract me as much. But I think I need to give it a go, because some of these things are just really fun reads, fun romps. First Avon Nova printing, January 1992. So I don't know anything about those authors, Peter Morwood, Diane Duane, but let me know if you've read any Space Cops. Is it RoboCop? Like that? I don't know. Fifth Element. Okay, I'm back to Andre Norton. And this is an older one, and it kind of worries me a bit that someone's tried to get the sticker off and it hasn't worked very well, which makes me think, should I try on the others? But Dark Piper, which I read something about Dark Piper just now, I'm sure. Dark Piper was one of the first chapters in one of the other books, but that's cool. Like, again, that's kind of freaky, weird, attractive. I think that's probably Beastmaster, right? Anyway, it's got to be something to do with that. Returning to his home planet after 10 years, Gris Lugard found Beltane relatively untouched by the annihilating war of the four sectors. Oh, maybe it's not. But it feels like it's something to do with Beastmaster. So again, 1968, that is older. I don't know if that is actually 1968, but I like that one a bit more. Unfortunately, it's got that, but it's kind of more old school, more classic. Not a lot going on the trade dress, right? It's mainly picture. It's very muted, and I kind of like that. Pied Piper-esque on the front. Okay. The thing I do like is, even if I wouldn't buy these individually, like, they're going to look great on a shelf. And even when I do get my physical library, not like this and the other variations around the house, like, I'd like to show things forward facing as well. Like, you see some of the booktubers who have much bigger rooms than me. I like it where they do the spines and then a few facing that way, especially for some of my best loved books, right? That would be awesome. And the goal is to do that. We're actually going up to Scotland very soon. Watch this space. Obviously, we're not going to get a house overnight, and we might not even buy in Scotland, but we're looking at, I'm starting to think about what the room might look like, and it's going to affect our decision making. So this is fourth printing, 1983, Sorceress of the Witch World. So I've got a few of the Witch World series. After this, I need to see what I've got and what I need. And that's Ace. Oh, it says number 6. So that will help me. Okay. I think I've got the Witch World side. I've got a few of different times and different publication dates, but we'll see. Okay. So same series again, quite a few of these. Book 4 in the Ross Murdoch series. So loads of series and a few of each. Key Out of Time, book 4, Ross Murdoch series. So again, looks like that 80s livery. Ace Books, New York. Originally 1970. Again, doesn't say this reprint. That can't be 1970. But I'll look it up. So, Time agents Ross Murdoch and Gordon Ash, aided by a Polynesian girl and her team of telepathic dolphins, probe the mystery of the sea planet men have named Hawaii. Okay, so someone asked me about doing some science fiction that's based on the water or the undersea or, you know, marine life or Aquaman or Nemo stuff. That could be one. Telepathic dolphins, it's right up there. So I'll remember that one. If not, please remember it for me. Okay, another one. So this is probably the majority. I recognize that cover. Where do I know that cover? If you know this cover, please put it in the comments. The first book of the Forerunner series. So I've seen Forerunner mentioned, but these are all over the place. So Storm over Warlock. But that cover, for some reason, rings something in my brain. More stickers. What does that say? Odyssey 7, £2.25. But again, same livery, 1983, 6th printing. The Throgs were predators living on the loot they garnered by laying waste defenseless worlds. Lots of stories begin like that, but yeah, nice one. And they look cool together, right? Nice series from Ace. And there's more coming. Okay, that again, the cover again, that reminds me of, is it R.A. Salvatore? I read some ice fantasy stuff when I was a teenager. The Time Traders, but that cover looks, has that been reused somewhere? I don't know. I see so many book covers now, you never know, right? So Ace again, same livery. The Time Traders, that sounds more up my street. July 1980. Oh, Ross Murdoch. Okay. So where was the Ross Murdoch? So the Key Out of Time. So that one and that one are linked. Book 4 in the Ross Murdoch. And this one, maybe it's the first one, because it says Ross Murdoch, a convicted criminal, is a volunteer for a secret government project. Nice. I'd love to, you know, I'd love to go on a holiday and just take take 4 books in a series or something and just go for it. That's what I want. I need holiday first. Oh. Okay, another Del Rey. So this is my second Del Rey, Andre Norton. Science fiction adventure, Victory on Janus. One small green man stood between the Ifts and an evil too great to imagine. That sounds good. And it says Death Struggle on the back. So much literature that I want to consume. It's kind of blowing my mind a bit now, like the scale of this library. Obviously, it will be just an amazing place to be. But I am a reader. I've been a reader for a long, long time. But I want to be a reader as a bigger part of my daily life, right? That's the whole point of this, is work less, read, inhabit my library more. That's the whole goal. 1984, Del Rey. And this one, the Ifts of Janus had once been human, transformed, each shared his human memory with that of an Ift. But the Iftin memories were stronger and left the changelings, A. Van Vogt, unprepared for the danger which faced them in the form of the unnameable, that which abides. Like the idea, that's more up my street, let's say. How are we doing? Is that the end of Andre Norton? No, so there are some, it looks like some Andre Norton under the others. Golden Trillium. So I read a good graphic novel, it was a comic series called Trillium by Jeff Lemire, which is a good sci-fi adventure. But this is Golden Trillium, Andre Norton, co-author of Black Trillium. And that looks pure fantasy, but let's see. So what's that? What's that? I can't even read. Oh, Bantam. Okay, yeah, with my glasses on. Got a few Bantam for sure. 1994. The creation of 3 of fantasy's stellar talents. The Trillium Saga is a tour de force of magic, mystery and romance. Now best-selling author Andre Norton picks up the story she began with Julian May and Marion Zimmer Bradley, a story that continues with a perilous quest into darkness. Interesting. So I read somewhere, someone was doing a review, Marion Zimmer Bradley. I've never read anything, but apparently a horrific person. I think it's her daughter has come out and said some awful things. And then Julian May, I don't know anything about, but I did get some Julian May in a recent haul, which I kept. So there's going to be a kind of a fantasy section, and this will form it. But yeah, if you don't know Marion Zimmer Bradley, just do a quick search and Awful stuff. Okay, it looks like I'm onto the non. So I had one, the Space Cops, which is non-Andre Norton. Let me just count the Andre Norton, because I think it was meant to be 30. I think there's probably some Norton underneath the randoms, but I'm going to continue with the randoms, and I've only been talking for like 28, 30 minutes. So we'll go from there. Okay, I think this was one of the ones. There's always one or two that attracts me. And I just bought a batch of Zardok's books, 30, I think 20 or 30 books. And because of one that I just thought, yes, this is a good chance to get that. Now, this is Badger Books, and I've always had a soft spot for Badger Books, but I've never had any kind of sci-fi, or I've maybe got a couple of Badger Books, but look at the condition of that. And it was marine based, as we were talking. So Out of the Night by John E. Miller, strange, weird, eerie, just put those 3 words on the front. Supernatural special, the thing from beyond the depths reached out for him. So some kind of Poseidon, Atlantis, Aquaman kind of thing. And it's got a bit of kind of a burn thing there, but apart from that, that's an excellent condition. I'm very happy with this. And I think it's old. Printed in Sussex. Saying that, I can't see, so I'm going to have to look that one up. Anyone that knows, wow. Yeah, come on. I'm just going to look that one up, okay? Okay, I looked this one up because it was in such good condition I couldn't find the date. It is 1965 Badger Books as part of the Supernatural Special series. So I'm very, very chuffed with that. That's one to show, the front cover for sure. So of the 2 randoms, I think we know which one I like the most, Space Cops or Out of the Night. So great. Okay, and then this is what I like about these hauls. They are so random. Like this lot was a Badger Supernatural special, and then Timothy Zahn, Night Train to Rigel, which is one of those kind of more modern tours. A highly readable thriller in space opera trappings. It begins with a man delivers a message for former government agent Frank Compton, only to fall dead at his feet. The message is a summons from the spiders, the exotic and mysterious creatures who run the Quadrail, an incredible transportation system connecting civilizations across the galaxy. Actually, sounds right. So Timothy Zahn, again, I presume a more modern writer that I don't really know much about, early 2000s, 2005. Know anything about Timothy Zahn? Have you read him? Do you recommend him? He's in my collection anyway. And I do have a growing collection of more random titles from the 2000s as well now, as well as 80s and 90s. So I'm definitely spreading across the decades. But I'm putting that on top of Out of the Night. Let me keep that one separately, because that's definitely a favourite. Oh yeah, okay. So another Del Rey, a rousing space opera by E. Hoffman Price, Operation Misfit. So that does look good. That looks good. Not the best, unfortunately, not the best condition, but in terms of a book that I would look up, that is a book that I would look up. So Roderick David Garvin was a dangerous maverick on Earth. Imagine what he could do with a whole new world. Nice. And again, looks relatively... Oh, hold on. E. Hoffman Price. Interesting. There's something else that it says there. Nice space, something. I don't know. And then someone's written something else there. This is the German, another agent. I can't read that. But again, that's why... Is that going to focus for you? If anyone can translate that or read it back to me. Nice space. Yeah, it's in German. And then it says, this is the signature of Uwe something, German author and agent. Interesting. So I'll have to look up who is the agent of E. Hoffman Price. And is it this Uwe? Looks like Lescal or something like that, but that's an interesting thing. So 1980, Rod Garvin must just made too many waves for the thought control board that controlled the plastic society of the 21st century. Thought control board, plastic society. Like just the terminology from whatever it's 45 years ago that rings true now. That's why I kind of read these things. Okay, this one is probably the first one in the whole haul that I've definitely got a copy of, which is Sheila McLeod, Xanth and the Robots. And I think I have a pretty almost pristine one, but this is good. And I remember, I think in one of my first hauls, I remember that thinking, interesting concept. This is actually very square. It might be better than my other one, actually. So this might be an upgrade. It's kind of heavy stock, feels good. Again, a nice object. Xanth is a member, female, of a research team which is investigating the possibilities of humanoid robots in a world of chaos and starvation. 2 types of robot have been produced: the pragmapractors, who do the conventional manual work, and the philophrenics, who have been programmed to more human levels to feel affection. That's the kind of thing I would love to read. So I'm going to try. I've screwed up my shelves again by just putting stuff anywhere that I just need to find space. So I might not be able to easily find it. I think the M's are pretty close. But that might be an upgrade, and then this one might go on eBay, or if anyone wants whichever one is slightly worse. I think the other one's pretty good. Then I'll give it as a giveaway. If someone just says, "Can I have the Sheila McLeod, please?" Then let me know. I've been enjoying doing that and conversing with people and then sending a book to them. And I've received books back, which is mind-blowing. So thank you. So from Sheila McLeod to Andre Norton again in a plastic Star Soldiers. So he had Space Cops. It's not from the same ilk, is it? For some reason, this has got one of those plastic things on it, and it's too big. So I'm going to take that off. I don't know when I'll reuse that, but I've never bought any of these. And they always remind me, obviously, of library. And when you're at university, great idea. But for a book like that, which is reasonably new anyway, unless it is a library book. No, it doesn't look like it's a library book. So another Bane. So the Bane and the Tor. But back to Andre Norton. A superb storyteller, Chicago Tribune. Only as interstellar mercenaries can humans go to the stars. But when swordsman third-class Kana Carr and his comrades in arms are betrayed and abandoned on a hostile world by their alien masters, the warriors from Earth begin a desperate march across a planet whose every sword is against them. Their actions may doom humanity or lead the way to human empire. So again, she does like there's definitely a theme, isn't there, of like a human on a quest, obviously, with what looks like a companion who's non-human, and in many cases is like a known Earth mammal, for example, or in this case, or a dragon, or that's not an Earth mammal, but having like a counterpart, like a two-team, like a sidekick. I kind of like that as an idea. So maybe I'll see if there's more of that once I read Norton. Okay, a few left. Okay, I have heard of this author, and this is a modern ace. 3 people in the world hold the secrets of the universe. The Trinity Vector by Steve Perry. So from the front, it's something that I like the look of, the sound of, the look of. There were 3 of them. Strange silver boxes, mysterious devices which individually could give you tomorrow's weather or tomorrow's winning lottery number, and which, when joined together, could unlock the secrets of the universe. One man who feared the truth wanted to destroy them. One man who lusted for power wanted to exploit them. And one woman who yearned for the ordinary wanted no part of them. 3 people, each with a piece of the puzzle. 3 people with nothing to lose and everything to gain. The Trinity Vector. That sounds good. I'll let you know my thoughts on Replay soon, which is obviously similar in a way, right? It's about a guy who wakes up again in his college body and, hold on, what am I doing here? But he replays more than once, and it's kind of a sliding doors Groundhog Day thing, where if you know what's going on and you've lived previous lives, what do you choose to do? So the first one is the one everyone thinks, which is, oh, well, you can bet on the World Series win from that year, or boxing events, or you can make money pretty easy, you know, stocks to invest in, etc. But that's only the start of it, right? And this is kind of a similar thing, it looks like, but with three people with some kind of way in to that view and how they would work together. So yeah, I've never heard of that. Again, unfortunately, slightly disappointing that these were not stored very well. But from the outside, looks brand new. July 1996, Steve Perry. So if you know anything, if you've read that, let me know. On one of the hauls, people were telling me, you've got to read this, you've got to read that. And it'd be great if you could do the same on this one, so I don't miss anything. Gordon R. Dixon. So I got a lot of Gordon R. Dixon, I think, in the last haul. And then I got some on my Belfast trip. Belfast to Bushmills, if you haven't seen that one. Amazing shop in Belfast. And I think I got a handful of Gordon R. Dixon. Again, still haven't read. But this is another Del Rey, so I'm happy with that. The challenging adventures of the first Starship Commander to challenge forbidden space. So challenge and challenge. You probably wouldn't do that now, would you? Mission to Universe. Very shiny. Good old Del Rey. And that's a good cover as well. And if you haven't seen my video on Fantastic Planet, those kind of creatures, no, different colour, not blue, but still. So this is slightly, 1977, really? That's very good condition for 1977. Is that really 1977? That's great condition for that. I'll look it up. Again, yeah, it probably is. Nice. Gordon R. Dixon, the first Gordon R. Dixon from here. Oh, this is a wee one, which I've got a growing collection of those as well. So this is Ace. It's not an Ace double. F310. Oh, it is Andre Norton. Galactic Derelict by Andre Norton, complete and unabridged. So that's got to be the oldest Andre Norton I've got in here. But it's a good haul, isn't it? What a range of books and timeline. Again, storage, man. Is it going to tell me though? See, it says 1959, but again, I want to look this. I want to look this one up as well. I want to lick it as well. Let's smell it, not lick it. Let me just look this one up. Okay, so I found this one, and there's actually two versions of the cover. One with that where this isn't white, so this is, I know it's this one, and this is 1964 F310. So I think that is the oldest. 40 cents. All the classic elements are present in full measure in Galactic Derelict. It suffers not at all, but being a sequel. Oh, a sequel to Andre Norton's excellent Time Traders. So I've got Time Traders in a newer format. So that's good. That's good to know. And that's a lovely little book in good condition. Right, this is not Andre Norton. It's an Avon. The Chromosomal Code by Lawrence Watt Evans. In a galactic war for control of the future, planet Earth and its people serve only one purpose. So that's it. A pretty good looking book. Slightly more modern. What's that? £2.25 from Games Workshop. Games Workshop. A few memories there as well. Although I wasn't a big gamer, I was more with my dad, painting the miniatures and maybe a bit of Blood Bowl. I didn't really. We did have Fantasy Battle, Warhammer Fantasy Battle, and we started to build our armies. I remember doing a skeleton army that took a long, long time. So 1984, Lawrence Watt Evans. America is a frozen wasteland. The Sahara is a lush, verdant garden. Doomed cities rise from mountain tops and ocean floors and sail over the seas. Disease is no more, and Earth now belongs to those who created humankind. Interesting one. And it's got mention of chromosomes. So it's science. It's definitely science. Okay. If you saw my first haul, the first box, or the first lot, it was the first box. It was this box, actually. I've still got it. You saw this box. Inside there was one Battlestar Galactica book, which was this one. And I've now got another one. But this one definitely looks more appealing. So that looks more appealing than that. And it's just, I'm just telling you how I feel, right? So it's definitely older. Futura, Battlestar Galactica, the new Space War Spectacular from Universal Pictures. So is this the novelization? The new Deep Space War with the most exciting special effects ever produced. An epic film with special effects designed by Oscar-winning genius John Dykstra and a powerful novel, a gripping Space War saga. Okay, so this is nice. So this is something I would definitely keep. This is collectible, as well as, like, I would read, I do or have and will read like Star Wars novels, right? I'm actually reading at the moment, it's not a novel, but I get a lot of number ones and I check them out, and if I like them, I get. So I've got 2s and 3s. So this is the Star Wars Segura 10-year anniversary of 2 and 3. So I will read kind of movie tie-ins, right? Franchisee tie-ins. And this is pretty old. When did that movie come out? So 1978, it's saying. So yeah, that's a nice book. That's a nice book. So this one I'm keeping. It tempts me to keep that because together they have something in common, but I have to limit myself somewhere. Like I'm even having to get, I've got a very small storage unit, and I'm even thinking of having to get a bigger one. I just need to find time within the week to go down there to kind of talk about it, order one, and then do some of the movement. So the sooner I can get into a dream house, the better. We're getting some really nice things now, I think. Maybe they were left at the bottom to keep them safe. The Zero Stone, and it is Andre Norton, but that looks fantastic. Look at that cover. The colours on that. And I don't think it's that new. That is gorgeous. That's very me. And look in the, you see there in the wing mirror? Is that a wing mirror? There's another little companion beastie. So Andre Norton and the companion beastie. It looks like it's damp again. Like, why? And it's unread again, so just storage. 1974. And it says Victor Gallants, but what's the... Yeah, Beaver Books. That's great. That's one of my favourites. I'm putting that down with Out of the Night. I really like that book. Don't know what Beaver Books I've got, but that's really good. I didn't even look at the story. The mysterious powers of the Zero Stone on his ring bring danger to young Murdoch Jern, together with his strange feline. So there have been a lot of cats. That was a cat. Companion Eat. He is hounded through space by the Murderous Thieves Guild. So it's not just companion, it's cat companion. It could be me and Penelope or me and Mabel, right? So all good. Love that one. And as I say, they do look like they're getting better. Oh, and science fiction to do with the sea. Andre Norton's Sea Siege. The deadly war was over, but the seas of the world were infested with a terror that had only just begun. Haven't heard of that one. But another one for my potential video on water-based sci-fi. And again, these must all have been stored in the same place or from the same collection or same seller. It says 1957, but it's not 1957. It doesn't say the reprint, but who's the publisher? Fawcett. I don't know Fawcett, science fiction, but nice. The perils of the deep, the fury of the elements, the terrors of the atomic war invested with interest and suspense. Nice. Have to look up Fawcett. I don't have much, but that's another good one. Saving the best until the end. Oh, it's Andre Norton, so it needs to go on the Andre Norton pile, which is now 124. Oh, and that one that I've put over there, 25. So I thought it was 31, so maybe there are still 6 Andre Norton ones in there, but it doesn't look like there are some. Ooh, this is a good one as well. Another badger. A companion to this badger. R.L. Fanthorpe. Fantastic condition again. It looks unread. SF118. Is this SF as well? SN100, that one is. So that's the Supernatural series. So Supernatural Special. This says SF118. So this, I presume, is the sci-fi, Badger Books sci-fi. 2 and 6, this one. The other one was 3 and 6. Look at that cover. And look at that condition. They were desperate to find the answer, but afraid of the hidden truth. Oh, wow, that is unread. That is unread. So the other one was 1964. So there's going to be a lot of editing today, but I'm going to look it up. Okay, so 1966, a famous year if you live in England. That is awesome. That's going on the special pile as well. So overall, I think I got these books for like, I'm ignoring the postage again, but like £1 or so. So to get some of these for £1, I'm just very happy with. They are great additions to my library. Okay, slightly newer, but it reminds me of a Sheckley book that I got in the first haul, which I think is still here. No, ignore me, it's not that, it was something else. Is it that one? No. So I've definitely got something in this livery with the VG Victor Golank's SF flag, that little red and yellow and black flag there. I've definitely got some from this livery. Starman's Son. Her storytelling gift is phenomenal. He was from a scavenger race, surviving on the scraps of knowledge the old ones had left behind. Interesting. 1987, but originally 52. Starman's Son. Yeah, I like that one. And I need to check. I still haven't decided in terms of presentation, and I've got plenty of time to decide. I'm definitely not one of these people that will do colours. I'm sorry, that's not right. And I'm pretty anal in terms of surname, Alpha. But I also love some of these publishing runs and livery connectors and all that kind of stuff. So lots to discuss and lots of exciting times ahead at some point on this channel. I just can't tell you when. Andre Norton, a very shiny modern one. Is that red? It looks red, I'm not sure. Grandmaster of Science Fiction, Andre Norton, Brother to Shadows. Duty and honour propel a young shadow on a perilous quest of all time. Just look again at the hero and then the beastie. It really is a theme. I'm not making it up, am I? You're seeing the trend as well, tell me. I don't know if I showed that, but pretty modern. Since early childhood, Joffrey always reminds me of Game of Thrones whenever I hear that. Joffrey has honoured the ways of the Brotherhood. Now the illustrious order of bodyguards and assassins has cast him out in disgrace, cruelly condemning the young shadow to wander a treacherous world alone. But in the Stinkport, now that is a good location, safe haven for the vilest of star-travelling scum, Joffrey's true destiny is revealed. For here he is bound by blood oath to the gentle reptilian knowledge seeker, Zerzel. Yeah, I don't know, something I quite like the sound of that. I think it's Stinkport, which really made it. Again, storage, a little bit to leave desired, but does not affect that book. That looks fantastic. And what was the age? Late 80s, something like that, right? No. That's Avon Nova. Yeah, I should have checked. 94. So I think we're nearly there on the Andre Norton, surely. Oh, this is a nice one. So this is the first sphere from this haul. Joe Poyer, Operation Malacca, best-selling author of North Cape. Mr. Poyer is very, very good, said Alistair MacLean. Don't know anything about this. Operation Mega Blast. The situation is explosive in all senses of the word. The British government has proved that Asian communists have secretly planted a multi-megaton thermonuclear bomb on the floor of the Malacca Strait, ultimately threatening the entire world with nuclear megadeath. So yeah, I had a haul, I think it was Giant Book Haul 4, that had a lot of kind of dying Earth, kind of Holocaustian nuclear kind of fallout stuff. And maybe this fits in with that. It doesn't feel, yeah, it's not traditional science fiction as I know it, but you know, it's a concept that makes you question what you're going to do with your life, etc. So 1976, and it's Sphere, and I do like the Spheres. So But it looks a little bit like a Clive Cussler novel or something like that, right? Raise the Titanic or something. Okay, we're good. It feels a little bit of an outlier to what we've seen before. Okay, there are more books. There's some thin books there, so I don't know. There's about 7 or 8 left, and it's Norton. So this is Del Rey again, Del Rey fantasy. So definitely there are some pure fantasy, not just kind of science fantasy. Huon of the Horn. Only elusive elven magic could save Huon from the dark perils of Babylon. So I'm definitely keeping this because I want my Andre Norton collection to be relatively completist. I'm really not going to go out there and get everything until I at least read one, right? Because I might not like it. See, again, that says 1979. That does not. That can't be 1979. I'm sorry. Oh, there we go. First Valentine, 1987. So yeah, pure fantasy. That will go on my tracker as fantasy. Some of them are quite difficult to label, but that one I think is for sure. Another one of those is at LSB Books. 80p. Eye of the Monster, Andre Norton. And that just looks like a rotund bat, which, is that a monster? Not sure. So Ace, thin, lovely object again. Looks like kind of slightly coloured text block. Unread. Nice smell. 1962, but this edition is definitely later. It just doesn't tell me. But again, if I put that together with some of the others, there's a nice kind of similar run of these. Same age aces. Is this the last Norton? Maybe. And it's one of those nice swish ones, but with a more, let's say, budget cover. But again, it's a human and a beastie. This time, I don't know what that is, a bear fox or something. Not the best. Galactic Trap for a Star Wolf's Cub. It's a wolf. Secret of the Lost Race. A lawless region whose sparse worlds are the last refuge for outcasts from more civilized sectors of the galaxy. But one of its refugees is more than just a misfit. He's a threat to all humanity. There's a lot. She definitely has a lot of stories that seem to follow that kind of thread. Again, discoloured pages. 1978, 7th Ace printing. So that's pretty good in terms of age. And I thought the other ones were slightly newer that had that look and feel, but that's great. I think those are a good run that I'll put together and have a play with. Okay, another Avon, slightly newer, £1.60p for that one, in great condition, but I'm pretty sure it's discoloured inside, but it's a nice red painted block. A fabulous heritage buried in the stars made them the most hunted men in the universe. Star Web by Joan Cox. There's a dragon again. There are no coincidences, only destiny. Jade was a linker, one of that special breed of pilots who guide starships through the treacherous lanes of the Star Web via mind control. Interesting. I don't know Joan Cox, so please let me know if you know anything about her. 1980 Avon. That's a nice book. Again, unread. Very shiny. A little bit chipped. But good. I feel like, tell me if not, maybe these are classics, it's just I haven't heard of them, but I feel like there's some pretty interesting randoms, like one-hit wonder types maybe. I could be completely wrong and doing a disservice to Joan Cox, but I haven't heard of them. But then I've been out of the loop for, I don't know, last 20 years of sci-fi. An Ace science fiction special, Humanity Prime, Bruce McAllister. Now this looks more like it. And again, it's got a marine feel. Look at that. Is that a merman riding a giant turtle? And I don't know what the eye is at the back, but that is awesome. Awesome. Very me. Again, the discoloration, which is not good. But again, just looks like storage. The actual book is in excellent condition. First one from the old cigarette adverts, which you know I like from these old books, which tells me it's old as well, even though the condition's really good. So, The Better Ace, 1971, Bruce McAllister. So, When man's emerging star empire met that of the savage Cro-Mounts, the alien hordes began a war of extinction against humankind. So overwhelming was their power that Earth's outpost and finally Earth herself was utterly destroyed. But one starship escaped. That's great. I'm going to put that on the favourites pile for the end, because he's riding a giant turtle. Okay, 3 left by the looks of it, and I don't know if there's any Andre Norton. Okay, a science fiction original, and that's Mana books. I do like Mana books. I've got a few Mana books now, but not a lot. I come across them very rarely. Sticker problem there. I will do my best. The Korobite Minds by Peter Roberts. Those who controlled Korobite held the universe in a deadly grip. That looks good. So yeah, the Korobite Minds, Peter Roberts. No force could stop the tyrannical Zatorians as long as they used slave labour to mine the deadly Korobite supply. Daleth Trandor knew that the universe faced certain doom unless he could muster an escape and rebellion, but time was running out. So that looks pretty good, and that's pretty old. Did I already tell you how old it was? Sorry, I was distracted. 1978 Mana book. So that's good, apart from the sticker. That's really good. We've got 2 left. And the first one is Ace. It's got that on the top. Now, I should know what that is, and I could look it up. But I've seen that quite a few times, and it's something, someone clips it to define something, right? If you know, please let me know. The best ye breed, Mack Reynolds. Take up the black man's burden, send forth the best ye breed. 3rd in the fabulous North African trilogy. Again, let me know. I haven't heard of this, the North African trilogy. Bit faded. Alexander, Genghis Khan, Napoleon, and now El Hassan. Liberator of North Africa, charismatic conqueror of Islam. In reality, he is Homer Crawford, turncoat black American sociologist determined to lead the dark continent into the modern age. Wow. There's a lot going on there. There's a lot to unpick. I don't really know what to say. But 1978, that's pretty good nick as well for 1978. Apart from this little, I don't know. You tell me. But nice. Interesting one at the end. And the last one, looks like a nice one. I can't see. Original science fiction. I can't see the publisher. 8 explorers fight for a fortune in cash and for one woman's love amid the dunes of Mars. Diapason by Thomas Sullivan. That looks good. That does look good. Each man was travelling alone. Each man was desperately searching for the lost fortune that would make him a millionaire for life. And though no one knew it, each man was part of the most vital experiment in the history of the human race. Wow. Condor books. Don't know much of those. And another 1978. What a lovely one to finish on. I'm going to put that in my favourites pile as well. So I've got 5 in my favourites pile. That's the box done. So I couldn't split it into 2 because it was everything in one, which is perfectly fine. I might split this into 2, or this is just going to be one big one. It's probably going to be one big one. If you watch it all the way through, well done. And here's my favourites. So I won't show you the pile. I've literally got a pile up to here for the Andre Norton. You can kind of see the top of it there. And I've got a smaller pile here for the non-Andre Norton. And of the favourites which are here, I think only one of them is Andre Norton. So a lot of it was more modern, wasn't it? But for sure, those 2 Badger books have made my day. For sure, they're going in bag straight away. That one, that was quite recent, just that cover, the muted colours, 60s vibe, free love on the free love freeway kind of thing. That Beaver book, yeah, that's just gorgeous. And then the last one, just the size, the age, I've never heard of it, really good condition and an interesting premise. So thank you once again for watching me open this box, run through these books and drivel on, and I'll see you very soon again for some more science fiction that hopefully will go into my library at some point. Cheers, have a good day, speak to you soon.